to the channel in this first week of spring 2023. And in today's project, I'm going to go ahead and forge out a little hand shovel for the garden. Most of the garden shovels you buy in the hardware store, cheap pot metal, but they're not cheap price. They usually don't last very long. You want to break in cheap handles, all that good stuff. So I'm going to forge out a nice little garden shovel, and this probably will wind up on my Etsy store. It's going to be a full tank construction with wooden handles, and yeah, I think it's going to be a nice little tool. So let's go ahead and get everything hot, and we'll bring you over here, and we'll be starting with the guillotine tool to isolate some material for the shovel blade, separate that from the handle area. So let's do it. All right, so I'm going to go ahead and isolate some material, and I think I want kind of a long spade on it. If you watched the last video, one of the tongs, you might recognize this piece of stock. So there's going to be a knife, but I don't really feel like forging a knife right now. I want to forge a shovel. So this is probably just over, right at a 1/4 inch thick by 1.5 inch wide piece of spring steel from an Amish buggy leaf spring. So this is what we're using in stock today. I'll show you a couple of heats isolating this material. I don't want that upset to get too far out of control. Alright, so took a few heats to get to this point. I'm going to stop with the guillotine tool there. Start necking down that material for my handle. All right, take one more heat on this handle area. And start focusing on the shovel part, whatever they call that, spade, whatever. Got a couple of bad hits here. All right, I got to move this point down. I had shaped this tip to size up that last set of tongs that I made. So. That's no big deal. All right, it's close enough for now. I'm gonna use my cross peen now. I'm gonna widen this thing out. Start in the center, move out to the outside. So I've taken a few heats without you. Still on the cross peen. Do a couple more heats. Then we're going to switch to the rounder. Alright, so all the forging marks are on this side. I'm going to put that on the anvil face. And now I'm going to use my rounder to continue spreading the metal. So the rounder is going to move it in all directions. The cross peen just moved it widthwise. I put it upside down. Let the face of the anvil smooth out all those cross peen marks. So it's getting thin, so it's going to cool down quick. Alright, so I'm still rounding. Alright, so I'm going to switch hammers again. I'm going to plenish this out, and I'm going to refocus on the handle. Alright, so I'm just plenishing, trying to get the rounding hammer marks out. So I was hitting it pretty hard. Kind of rethinking the handle a little bit. I kind of had a thought that I could cut it, spread it with the cross peen, and then just roll it like I'm making a socket that would go on a that you would make to go on a stick or something. Like if you were making a socket for like a regular garden tool or a spear or something, and then just have that socket be the handle. All right, let's cut this handle down. Go ahead and get started on the handle. I think I did decide to I am gonna roll it and make the sockets. I'm gonna take a few heats and clean up this transition. Okay, back to the cross peen. So I've taken about 3 or 4 heats. And I'm just widening this out and thinning it down. See, at some point I'm going to have to figure out a transition area between the handle and a little space in between the handle and the shovel. But I'm trying to keep spreading and thinking about that as I go. All right, so I kind of got a line right here. It's going to isolate the handle. There'll be a little stem right here into the shovel. The reason I'm doing that is because I want to keep this kind of thick right here. Kind of got that started. Now I'm going to go back to spreading it out. I swear every time you isolate something, like it becomes magnetic because it just wants to draw your hammer into it so you hit it. Alright, so I'm going to start to round the socket. I'm going to use my rounding hammer. Start rounding it. Rounding hammer will make it start to curl. And then when it gets a pretty good curve in it, drop it right down in here. I also got my horn I can work on. We got options. Switch to my ball peen. I did get my little 6-inch wedges in, and I have a Christ-centered Ironworks wedge stand that I have to weld together. So look for that project coming up. I'm kind of afraid to start on it because I don't think I have enough welding wire to finish it, because I was going to make a video when I put it together. So I want to make sure I got enough wire to do the whole project. I'm going to go buy another spool of wire, and then I'll be putting the wedge stand together. And this wedges would have came in handy for this project, but it's all good. All right. so full disclosure, ooh, that's hot. I took it over to the vise. My socket it's kind of twisted. So I viced it up and just got everything nice and straight. So now I'm back on track, and I'll do a couple of heats wrapping it around this drift and dropping everything on the floor. We'll bring it back. All right, let's get this in there. I want to get this in there. I want to forge up here, get this done. Got a little wonky. All right. So I've taken a couple heats without you, and I'm just forging around this drift. Kind of keeping it as straight as I can as I go. So when I get this closed up, we're going to come back to the shovel head, spade. I don't know what that is. All right, so I am just forging around this drift. And as I do, that seam closes up. And we'll be done when I get it completely sealed up all the way at the end. And it'll probably take a couple more heats. I marked my drift. To make sure it goes in the same way every single time. So it looks like one more heat. I'm thinking one more heat, then straighten the handle up. Handle will be done. All right. So next, I'm going to, kind of gotta give everything a straightening. I want to get a little bit of an angle in here. It's already kind of started, but I want to exaggerate that just a little bit. shaping in here. Final shaping. So these next few heats are just going to be tweaking the shape. Not going to be a whole lot to see, so just using my cutting table shelf here to some radius in here. But it is twisting the handle, and I'm going to have to go back and fix that now. So, or I could come around on this side and do the same thing. Maybe that'll straighten it out. Either way. I'm pretty much just plenishing, doing some final shaping. So I think I like where that's at on the shovel. Now I'm just going to straighten the handle out. And yeah, I think this will be ready to put a little bit of a blade on it over at the belt sander and go ahead and do a heat treat on it, why not? And then we'll do a little bit of a draw temper on it. So I'm just fiddling around. I'm just kind of bending, I'm not forging, I'm not hitting it hard. But yeah, I think I am going to call it right there. I'm going to take a look at this handle, straighten that out where it needs to be straightened out. And yeah, we'll be about done. Alright, so I'm done with the forging. I'm going to do a normalization cycle here. Do a little bit of brushing. Some final checks on whether or not this thing is straight. Everything appears to be straight. And then we'll go ahead and sharpen up the edges a bit on the belt sander. We're going to do a heat treat. And then we're going to do a very, 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 very blue temper. Probably shouldn't have to heat treat it at all, but I'll do it anyways. So, that's where we're at so far. And, yeah, you know, it was a pretty fun little project. First weekend of spring. Well, yeah, why not? I'm sitting there thinking maybe I should do some weed pluckers and maybe a cultivator too, but cultivator is probably going to require welding, which again, more MIG wire. So, but it's not going to be this weekend or today. So, but I'm going to do one more normalization cycle. Then I'm going to let it cool down. Belt sander, heat treat, and it will show this thing off. So, hold on. All right, so I decided to go out of order a little bit. I'm just gonna heat treat the tip of this thing. That's the really only part that's gonna get most of the abuse. And then I'll let the residual heat just draw temper it to wherever it winds up being. So I'm going to do that before I grind it, and it should only take a second here. Let's see here. So I'll just wait, see what the color does. Alright, so I don't know if you can see that, I zoomed you in, but it's turned to a nice bluish purple. And that's, we're just going to leave it like that. I'll let it cool down, and that'll be good enough for the heat treat. I'm not going to put it in water to stop it. I'm just going to let it go, and where it winds up is where it winds up. So probably didn't even have to do that, but I did it anyways. All right, we're going to wrap this one up. I got this one off the belt sander. I went ahead and sanded it with a 60 grit belt. Came back with a medium grit Scotch-Brite belt, and just put like just a rough satin finish on it. Got the edges nice and sharp on the sides, got the edges nice and sharp on the tip. So this thing is ready for use. I went ahead and drilled a hole in the back of the handle. If you want to put a pole in here, put a rod, a staff in here to extend it out. You can put a longer handle on it, and I put you a hole in here in case you want to do that, and the holes to put a screw in, hold the handle in. So yeah, I like the socket idea. I was going to do a wooden handle on this, but I'm glad I changed course and did the socket idea. I like the way that turned out. I like the one-piece construction. This is a good, strong tool, and it'd probably be the last garden shovel you ever buy. I got a bunch of garden shovels just laying around. Some are broken too. Some of the handles are broken off. Other ones that are that cheap pot metal, they're so dull they won't even, they won't even break the ground. So I think this is going to be a good, strong, tough shovel for someone who is looking for something to last them a lifetime. And if you're interested in something like this, you can find this on my Etsy store. If you're not interested in something like this and you just came by to see what's going on, hit that like button if you don't mind. Go ahead and subscribe too if you haven't already, and you can find me on Instagram as well. So I want to thank everyone again for all the support, and yeah, we'll see you on the next one.